Sanders and JP's Mississippi State Bulldogs make the trek to Fayetteville following a heartbreaking loss at home. They're going to have to look to right the ship against Bobby P. and that great Arkansas offense led by Taylen Green. And since Arkansas is at home and since their offense is so great, they are favored by 4.5 points in the afternoon slot. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
Well, they're only favored. Are you trying to say that they should be favored by more?
No.
Okay.
What did I say? Only favored by 4.5?
Yes.
I think so,
And you
yeah.
also said it in a tone of phrase that said that with their amazing offense, they should be favored by 25 or something.
No,
Not by
I think
25,
I was
like
trying to say it kind of
by 7 or 8
in
points.
jest of being like their offense is so great and yet they don't win. So that's why they're only favored by 4.5.
Hey, Tennessee's offense is great and they win.
True. Their defense has at least a pulse. Arkansas's defense
I don't know.
is dead on arrival.
I'm going to make an interesting debate
Okay.
later.
Oh boy.
I'm stopping you. We're going into this weekend. Would you rather play Arkansas's defense or Tennessee's defense?
Arkansas.
You would rather play Arkansas's defense?
Where's the game?
National championship.
Neutral field?
Let's just say neutral field. Yeah,
I'd rather play Tennessee in their defense again.
but not just you'd rather play Tennessee as a whole unit. Okay, so let me ask this in a different way to try and flesh out the answer. Would you rather Mississippi State have Arkansas's defense or have Tennessee's defensive unit?
I would rather have Tennessee's defensive unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'd
Cool.
rather play Arkansas's defensive unit.
No. I would rather play Tennessee's defensive unit again.
Because you've seen them before and you know
Yes.
how it's going to go?
And what is not being spoke of enough, which Levy mentioned in his press conference, since Petrino's taken over, they've completely changed the way that they play defense. They're in a completely different system. He's taken over that side of the ball, and they've changed that entirely. So for 3 games, we've only had 3 games of tape of Petrino's defense. Now, albeit in those 3 games,
It's still not gone very
not
well.
for Arkansas. They've given up 34 to Tennessee, 45 to A&M, and 33 to Jackson Arnold. Albeit, a lot of those 33 points were because of Taylen Green turning the ball over last week, which brings me to my first key to the game. Taylen Green, please don't cook us too bad. I've been high on Taylen Green all season and still obviously am. He is superb. And I should use way better and way more adjectives to describe him. But I would just let his stuff do the talking. Go watch him play.
He's a freak.
Watch his highlights. Don't watch his lowlights. He has some pretty bad lowlights.
Don't we all? I mean, you know.
His are pretty special lowlights as well.
Yes, they are very special. Obviously, like state X's and O's wise, we're gonna have to be really good in the spy game, which of course is way easier said than done. But I'll say against Sam Leavitt, we were really good in the spy game. Leavitt didn't really get anything going running the football, and when he did, we hit that dude. We hit him hard. So if we're going to do that again against Taylen Green, I think that'll give us a chance. Maybe later on in the game, Green is a little worn down. They've had to use him essentially as the engine to the entire team all season, and he's had to continuously go out there and gunsling. And so maybe he eventually hits a wall, and he eventually has a really poor performance, like overall, even statistically. Because even last week he was fine statistically. It was just the turnovers that got to him. So that brings me to my other thing is we need to have that turnover game out of Taylen Green. I would look to exploit his accuracy and aggressiveness at times. So look for Kelly Jones, Brylan Lanier, bait him into picks. Taylen Green threw 3 picks last week, 3 of them in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 6, they were leading in this game at this time, I believe by 4 in the fourth quarter, 9 minutes left.
That's correct.
Bad read on a stick route at the sticks, meaning at the 10 yards past the line of scrimmage where the first down is. He doesn't recognize that they're in zone coverage. He thinks he's got free space to the stick route, throws it to the outside of the receiver. He's baited into a pick. It's a pick 6 is what it ends up turning into. Next drive, 1st and 10, 4 minutes, 30 seconds left, and the fourth as well. They run, I don't know what happened here, so maybe Jackson or Cromie needs to go back and watch this play and then tell me that Petrino Cooks offensively because he runs 2 receivers into the exact same spot. And Taylen Green
Defenses never
has
see it coming.
they run a corner route into a go route, and the go route doesn't get up the field quick enough, which maybe you throw down the receiver. I don't know. But the corner route is open. It's wide open. But the go route is behind the corner route, so he's throwing to the corner route, and the go route DB just jumps in front of it, picks it off. DB does a great job of keeping the eyes on the quarterback. Easy interception. And then the last pick is at the end of the game. They're down by 9. He just overthrows a post route, and the safety just waits on it, just falls into his lap. Will we get him into a script like that? It remains to be determined, but he can clearly make mistakes in games, and we're going to need him to make mistakes. State needs to force a turnover.
Something we've excelled at doing all year.
Yes, absolutely. We did it last week as well in a critical moment against Arch that gave us the lead 17-14 at that time. Offense has to cook as well. There's just like no excuse. I don't care. We were great last week. We didn't capitalize against Florida. We were great against Tennessee and didn't capitalize on the key moments. It does not matter what moment it is. This offense has to cook. Arkansas has given up 40 points per game against Power 4 teams plus Memphis, which is essentially a Power 4 team because they're a top 25 team. So we got to score. I don't care. Even Petrino. Petrino's given up, like I said, points to A&M, Tennessee, and then last week to Jackson Arnold and Auburn. So offense has to continue to cook and score, which maybe a guy like Fluff Bothwell returning can help a ton.
Yep.
He's 50-50. The way Levy talked in his press conference to start the week, I'd be surprised if he plays on Saturday. But then again, he tried to warm up this past Saturday.
Sure.
He came out in pads after the warm up too.
He looked good. The only thing you could tell was once he was done running full speed, he was feeling a little limber there. And so there was concern, which Levy addressed. How confident do we feel that he's not going to hurt himself again if he goes in between the tackles and he's within,
Sure.
with a lot of legs and tripping and all of that around him? Anything can really go wrong, but that could go wrong for anybody in any spot.
Agreed.
We hope to have Fluff in this game. Reese, though, is back on the injury report, which is a concern. Not having our right tackle, who's been fine for us this year, but having offensive line in front of Shapen in general, I have mentioned many times, helps him a ton. Arkansas has lost 6 in a row. State's lost 4 in a row. Both teams are 0-4 in the SEC. Something's got to give. Someone has to win the game between the Jets and Dolphins. So let's hope we're the Dolphins this year.
Valid.
And there's finally only 5 guys that can beat us. Which, great burger company, by the way. Please sponsor us, 5 guys. Taylen Green, Malik Washington, Omega Blake, and can you guys guess the other 2?
I would love to take a guess. Jeff Levy.
Oh, wow.
Is he on the list?
Yes. I made it too easy, I guess.
You did.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say 5 guys that could beat us, I know there ain't 5 on Arkansas's team, so 2 of them are on ours.
I was not going to go Jeff Levy. But
I
that's
appreciate
a good call.
that.
My mind didn't go there. The 5th guy.
It's a state guy?
Yes.
Is it
Blake
Shapen?
Shapen?
It's Blake
Okay.
Shapen.
Yeah.
See, I didn't think he'd go there as a Blake Shapen defender.
No, there are only 5 guys that can beat us, yes.
Sure.
Levy, Shapen, and then the big 3 for Arkansas, which is literally their big 3 and their only 3 weapons. Taylen Green, Malik Washington, and Omega Blake, receiver, running back, and quarterback, have been good enough to score points with every SEC team that they've played, just not good enough to score enough points. But those are kind of the keys. Turn Taylen Green over. Obviously, State's been great in that. We could hope to continue doing that. Score points. It's going to be a shootout. The total on this game, I would guess 60. It's 66.5. I'd bet the over if you get a chance, honestly. I think both these teams are scoring in the 40s because the weather is not going to be like it was last week. It's supposed to be just cloudy. 51 degrees. So maybe the ball has a little trouble traveling
Yeah.
with the cold weather, which is our first experience in that this year.
Sure.
So maybe that could be interesting for Blake.
Yeah, about to say Blake's first experience with that in multiple years because he
Yes.
got hurt before it got cold last year. Not that that's everything, but that is just something to keep in mind is he hasn't played a cold weather game in 24 months.
It absolutely could matter. I would hope that it doesn't matter, obviously, but I just want to see a win. I think that's really all we care about. It doesn't. I don't really care how it goes. I have given keys to the way it more than likely could happen if these things happen, but I don't really care how it happens. I would even take the last time we were in Fayetteville with Mike Wright, and we won 10-7.
About to say you listed out.
I'll take any win in Fayetteville. Hell.
Yeah.
As a state fan, you take any win in Fayetteville. Every game in Fayetteville is just utter chaos. Back to the Dak years, Nick Fitzgerald years, even Will Rogers when we just couldn't make a field goal, and Mike Leach has open tryouts with students on campus the week after the Arkansas game. So we'll take anything we can get, and I will take anything we can get, and then we can sit here on Sunday and celebrate the fact that we are one win away from bowl eligibility under Jeff Lebany. Finally has a win and as an SEC coach.
Yeah.
We
Sure.
hope.
Hopefully. Yeah, I can't think of a whole lot else to say. I'm excited to see our defense play and kind of bounce back from last week
Hopefully.
because they played well, outperformed expectations all season, preseason expectations all season, and then last week kind of fell apart, giving up. JP says they gave up 21, but Texas put 45 on the board. Some of that is on the defense, a lot of that is on play calling, but just I would love for them to come out and have another good game, and kind of prove that whatever happened in that Texas game, special teams, defensive stuff was just a one-off. Taking care of the little things once again. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things with Lebby is the frustrations around that, the Florida game getting lost because of poor time management down the stretch, and then a targeting on DJ Lagway that puts him in field goal range. We had a roughing the passer with targeting, and then we had a roughing the passer last Saturday against Texas that gave Texas first down. It's just things like that, just sloppy play. I hope to see that cleaned up, or at least cleaner. I don't expect it to be easy to do on the road. I mean, the road is just harder to play. But I hope to see that cleaned up because that'll also give us our best chance of winning.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't necessarily hold my breath on that happening. The biggest thing for me I want to point out that's not been touched on yet is Arkansas's receivers are very physical as blockers. If Taylen Green breaks the pocket and he's just taken off, they're going to try and stuff you in a locker and just get you and just shove you out of the play. So State's DBs are going to be physical.
Yeah.
And even, linebackers to an extent are going to have to be physical in that. Now, I do think y'all have a very physical group of defensive backs. Kelly Jones.
Kelly 100%
especially.
fits the part.
I know Alex Smith's the linebacker, but even he's going to have a huge role in playing that spy. He's going to have to get off blocks. Because there's something that stood out to me watching Arkansas play A&M is how often Taylen Green would take off and be like, where's someone to tackle him? And then they finally come into frame, and it's just because an Arkansas wide receiver just is shoving them down the sideline. And it's like, oh, okay, well, if our DB's just not going to get off a block, it's going to be a long day. So the DB's are going to have to bring a lot of physicality in that. Even just looking at Omega Blake, Brody is jacked, and he is a bit of a psycho as well. So if he gets his hands on a DB, I don't love the DB's odds of breaking away from that. So just something to look out for because then those Taylen Green runs go from 15 yards to 40 like they did in the A&M game. And then it's a whole lot more frustrating to watch, and it's a whole lot easier for their offense to score when you're just getting massive chunk plays off of broken plays by their offense. So the spread's 4.5. Arkansas's favored. Y'all's pick? I know what y'all's pick is probably going to be, but
Absolutely.
give it to us.
I'm going to pick State to cover and to win, as always. I don't think I haven't picked against them yet, I don't think. So I will continue to not do that.
Sure. I guess I can pick next. I said as much on Sunday's show. I'm not going to pick this team to win a game until they go win a game and prove me wrong, and then I'll be happily proved wrong. And I think I'm going to extend this to covers as well at this point, even though the state's been great at covering.
They're about to say they're 7-1 against the spread.
I know they're 7-1 against the spread, but not that it matters at all. They have no idea who I am, but I want them to go prove me wrong yet again. So I'm going to take Arkansas to cover here.
Let's make sure Sanders continues to pick first today.
Sure.
I'm going to pick, of course, Mississippi State to win and cover.
Yeah.
Not really an issue or problem in doing that. I think we'll outscore Arkansas, which is all you need to do to win and cover. It's going to be a nightmare to watch Taylen Green run around like that, but I'm going to celebrate it because I'm a Taylen Green guy. And I think Levy gets his first win and gets to 1-12 as an SEC coach. There's just something about it. If you go look at our schedule on ESPN on a desktop, 4 W's in a row, 4 losses in a row. Something just screams 4 wins in a row.
Wow. Okay.
States might be 8-4 here in 5 weeks.
Right in the heart of playoff at large discussion.
Are y'all?
No,
Have you already had your second bye, or y'all bye after this?
we have a bye
Right before the Egg Bowl.
before the Egg Bowl.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
weird.
Is that
Weird layout.
seems late?
We
but
play on Friday. We normally
Gotcha.
would have that, or we would play. You'd play like an
Sure.
FCS school or a really weak Conference USA school.
Yeah.
The
Valid.
week before, if
Yeah.
it was on Thanksgiving.
I know we just picked one other thing that I will be interested to watch is Brennan Thompson and Blake Shapen. It felt like they were not on the same page for a lot of the loss against Texas. That slant route in overtime that probably would have been a touchdown. Blake misses behind him. I think plays before and after that. Honestly, the entire game, Brennan's coming back from go routes just visibly frustrated. And yeah, did you not notice?
I don't see that personally. And I understand what you're saying. And I've seen that once this year. I've watched it as much as I could. The A&M game, the one that Shapen has him wide open, and he gets it tipped from behind, and ends up being a pick. I don't know if I would characterize it as visible frustration. I understand you feel that way, and I also think that's backed on the fact that he doesn't feel that way either. He's straight up came out and said that he is unbelievably thankful for this year, thankful for Jeff Levy. He's producing at a level that is going to give him a chance to be an NFL draft pick.
Yeah.
There's like no question about that. And the games that he's been in, he's been talked about so much because he is our best weapon. And not to like just make a big list of everything he has grateful to be about being here in Starkville, but I don't think I've seen necessarily visible frustration. The slant route, I don't know if it's not being on the same page either. It's just Blake Shapen
just missed.
Yeah, there were other times where they were not on the same page, where Brennan Thompson is open on go routes and Blake does not hit him.
I do think there is some frustration from Brennan, but it's not necessarily like an at Shapen thing. It's just like,
man, we missed one.
yeah, man, we missed one. I'm like, I don't know, I miss an open 3. It's like, dang, I missed one. I missed a shot at angle ball. It's like, I'm just going to be frustrated because we missed one. I'm not necessarily, I guess that's our solo explanations. But it just like,
yeah, if you are open for an angle ball shot and someone else is covered and you call for the ball and they don't pass it to you, you might be frustrated with them.
maybe some, but like people make mistakes. I make mistakes. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be frustrated we didn't get it, but it's nothing personal about them. I'm ready to go down the field the next time, and I still expect them to make the right play.
And I don't think it's if he was going to get frustrated, he would get frustrated over one thing: lack of targets, and he's not there whatsoever. He has less catches than Anthony Evans, 12 less, but he's getting deep targets down the field in almost every single game. Are they hitting on every one of them? No, but I've addressed with Tucker before, you're not going to hit on 100% of your deep shots. Like, that's just impossible. You're eventually going to slow down in that category. I think, and it's also, you can't look for that every single time, because when you miss a deep shot down the field, you gain no yards. Chapin, when times he is not going for that, he's taking a check down. He's taking a different completion, and that's gaining 4 to 5 yards. And so it's still a net positive.
Yeah.
I understand though that I think I wouldn't characterize it as frustration because I've looked for that every single time that Brennan has ran deep down the field. I've looked for that because that is I want to see that in terms of like what the character of this locker room is, and I haven't seen that all season.
At least
I
he's
just
not-
don't feel that.
At least he's on the sideline reading a book or something.
Yeah.
I do think this is a game. If he was going to get frustrated, it could be this because there's no reason for him to have for him to not have multiple chunk plays in this game and beat multiple DBs over the top. That should be there all day against this Arkansas defense.
What's the reason that receivers have left us in the transfer portal in the few seasons priors? It's been because they've been divas and they've been wanting the ball more. I think of Ra Thomas specifically, or Xavion Thomas.
Xavion
Both of the
Thomas is
Thomases,
the better.
they want the ball more. They feel like they are these kinds of weapons. I think Brandon Thompson is the opposite from a character perspective. Obviously, in the case of Ra Thomas, where
I would hope he's the opposite.
Yeah.
and then even in Xavion Thomas's case, I think he's just in the complete opposite character perspective, and
Yeah.
I just haven't necessarily seen poor character out of him.
Yeah.
He has said he wants to win.
True.
So,
He does want to.
Everybody does.
Everyone wants to win.
yeah, I would say as you should.
The last thing is a cautionary tale to never use AI overview for your college football stats. I
just lie to you or lie to
well,
somebody.
I didn't use it. I tweeted out our injury report like I try to do every Wednesday night because like I didn't know where to find it at first, and so I share it so that our people who couldn't find it know where it is. And then someone who was trying to make so Fluff is listed as probable, which I hope he plays. Someone commented a screenshot of AI overview trying to make the point that like, oh, Arkansas's defense is bad. Fluff is going to run all over them. It lists Arkansas's run defense as 44th nationally, allowing 140 rushing yards a game, and 33rd, allowing 3.8 yards per carry. And I was just like, that's just
a lie.
not right. And so I went to teamrankings.com, the one we all use. It's green. I don't know. Anyway, and I shared the screenshot, and I was like, you know, I appreciate it. I do think Fluff is going to dominate, but don't use AI overview for stats because actually the reality is the team is I think in the 120s in both.
Yes, they're terrible.
Yeah, they're
defensively.
123rd in yards per carry and 128 in rush yards per game.
Yeah, they're not good.
Not top 50.
I don't really expect Fluff to dominate though, just because I think even if he comes back, it's going to be majority Booth carries, and I've seen it so much with Le'Veon Moss these past couple years. That's really taught me how much getting in a rhythm and being in a groove matters as a running back. Even like think Cedric Baxter comes back last week and just looks honestly pretty terrible against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And I know he's a better running
And we
back.
can't
than
stop
that.
the run, apparently.
He's just not at all in the flow of the offense. So maybe, I mean, I obviously could be wrong. Maybe Arkansas's defense is just that bad, but game flow and just comfortability matters so much for a running back.
Cool.
Last thing I want to ask before we move on, I know we got more, but like, if y'all get this win in Fayetteville, what do you think the reaction from the team is going to be? Do you think it's going to be like just obviously it's a huge relief, but do you think there's going to be like a massive celebration in the locker room?
Hell yeah.
They're dumping water all over Lev.
We
Yes.
haven't won an SEC game since we were in
he's never
Arkansas
won an
2
SEC
years
game.
ago.
Okay, I'm just or I didn't know if it was going to be that or be like, this is business. Like, let's keep going.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
No. Because it's just pent up emotion of 4 weeks. They
Not
might,
even 4 weeks. It's
or 5 weeks.
2 years.
Sure, but I think in terms of we've been on a losing streak for 4 weeks. I think Lebby thinks of this team as a completely different team to last year's team. He doesn't compare
As he should.
that team to this team because they ill in comparison because it's just a completely different roster makeup and a completely different competitiveness level on the roster. But they're gonna celebrate.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
gonna celebrate. Like it's gonna look like when Chris Jans gets his big SEC wins and he's dancing and the whole locker room's going crazy. And it's if you ain't a dog, you dog food.
I don't want to
It's
see.
gonna look like those. And if you haven't seen those clips, go look those up because they're electric.
I'd be interested to see Jeff Lebby dance.
I think it'll look not that different from Chris Jan's dancing.
I don't know. Chris Jans can dance.
I'm
Maybe.
just everyone has their move, right?
Yeah.
Their default. It's like, what's Jeff Levy's default dance move going to
That's
be?
a great
That's
question.
That's a good question.
Something to monitor. No, they are 100% going to celebrate.
As they
and
should.
As
I was
they
just
should,
curious.
100%.